When your cat takes your seat, you probably think it's love. But as a behavior expert, here's the truth. It can be a silent cry for help. When your cat licks you, it's not always affection. Sometimes it's a warning sign you're ignoring. And when your cat follows you from room to room, that behavior looks cute, but the real reason will shock you. These adorable habits aren't what you think. They're messages. Today, I'll decode the signals your cat sends every day and why misunderstanding them could be a big mistake. Number 1, the tail twitch warning system. Ever caught your cat's tail tip doing that weird little twitch and wondered if they're broken? Here's what's really happening, and it's way more intense than you think. When that tail tip starts flickering, your cat has essentially activated hunting mode. Their brain just flooded with dopamine, the same chemical humans get when they're about to win something big. But here's the part that could save you from scratches. Watch how fast that twitch happens. A slow, controlled twitch means they're locked onto prey, totally focused. But the second that twitch becomes violent side-to-side thrashing, you've got maybe 5 seconds before your cat either attacks or bolts. Most owners completely miss this transition and end up wondering why their calm cat suddenly went crazy. That tail is literally a countdown timer to chaos. But that twitching tail isn't the only way your cat's creating a chemical bond with you. What happens next will completely rewrite how you see that rough tongue. The love chemical in every lick. When your cat licks you with that sandpaper tongue, most people think it's cute. But what's actually happening is so much deeper, it'll change your entire relationship. Cats have barbed tongues designed for ripping meat off bones and grooming fur. When they lick you, they're mixing your scent with their saliva, which contains pheromones that mark you as part of their colony. But here's the part that'll blow your mind. That lick triggers oxytocin release in both you and your cat. Oxytocin is the bonding hormone that fires between mothers and babies. Your cat is creating a chemical bond with you at a neurological level. Now watch for this next time. If your cat licks you and then immediately starts grooming themselves, they're spreading your scent all over their body. In cat society, this is the highest possible form of social bonding. You're not just their owner in this moment, you're literally family in their mind. That changes everything. Speaking of bonding, there's one place your cat feels safer than anywhere else, and it's probably sitting in your trash right now. The cardboard fortress addiction. You spent $200 on a luxury cat bed. Your cat sleeps in the Amazon box it came in. Before you think your cat is just being ungrateful, listen to this. Scientists at Utrecht University discovered something wild. They put stressed cats in boxes and measured their cortisol levels. Within hours, cats in boxes had 37% lower stress hormones than cats without boxes. But it gets crazier. Those tight spaces trigger endorphin release in your cat's brain, the same feel-good chemical humans get from hugs or painkillers. Your cat isn't being weird. They're literally self-medicating anxiety with cardboard. And those ancestors of theirs? They survived for thousands of years by cramming into tight caves where predators couldn't attack from behind. That shoebox isn't stupid to your cat. It's a fortress. Now you know why they ignore everything you bought them. But while your cat's using boxes for comfort, they've got another confusing behavior that makes you question if they even like you at all. The love bite. Threshold mystery. Your cat is giving you gentle licks. You're thinking, "Aw, so sweet," and then chomp, they bite you. Your first thought is, what did I do wrong? Here's the truth that'll save your relationship. You didn't do anything wrong, you just crossed an invisible line you didn't know existed. Every cat has what scientists call a petting threshold, and it's controlled by sensory neurons in their skin. For some cats, it's 30 seconds. For others, it's 10 minutes. Once you exceed that limit, the sensation that felt good suddenly becomes irritating, similar to how prolonged tickling becomes unbearable for humans. That bite isn't aggression, it's communication, saying, "That was nice, but I'm overstimulated now." Here's how to tell the difference. Love bites are controlled, gentle, no hissing. Aggression comes with flattened ears, dilated pupils, and a rigid body. Learn to read that threshold, and you'll never get bitten again. Understanding boundaries is crucial, but there's one behavior that looks like rebellion when it's actually a desperate cry for help. The litter box emergency signal. Your cat starts peeing outside the litter box, and your first thought is, they're mad at me, or they're being spiteful. Cats don't have spite. What they have is either medical emergencies or environmental stressors screaming for attention. Urinary tract infections cause burning pain during urination, and cats associate that pain with the litter box itself, avoiding it to escape discomfort. But here's what most people don't realize. Cats have 200 million scent receptors compared to your pathetic 5 million. A litter box you think is fine smells like a toxic waste dump to your cat. Location matters too. If the box is in a noisy area, on a different floor, or near their food, they'll avoid it. The golden rule, 1 box per cat plus 1 extra. And here's the critical timeline. If your cat suddenly changes bathroom habits, you have 24 to 48 hours to see a vet before this becomes a permanent behavioral issue that's nearly impossible to fix. Now let's talk about what happens when the lights go out, because your cat's nighttime behavior reveals something beautiful about how they see you. The heartbeat. Connection ritual. Your cat sleeps on your chest every single night, and you probably think it's just about warmth. Wrong. Researchers using thermal cameras discovered something incredible that changes everything. Yes, your cat wants your body heat because they run at 102 degrees Fahrenheit, but watch where they position themselves. They're choosing your chest and neck area specifically because they're syncing with your heartbeat and breathing. This is the exact behavior kittens do with their mothers in the wild. Your cat has essentially decided you're their parent, and being near your heartbeat drops their stress hormones by 60%. But here's the beautiful part. When they sleep on you, they're choosing to be vulnerable, which in cat language means they trust you with their life. You're not just a heat source. You're their safe space in physical form. That's deep. That trust shows up in another daily ritual that's way more possessive than you ever imagined. The figure 8 claiming ceremony. Your cat does that. Figure 8 weave around your legs, rubbing intensely, and you think, "Aw, they missed me." True, but what's actually happening is far more possessive than you realize. Cats have scent glands on their cheeks, flanks, and tail base that produce pheromones completely undetectable to your useless human nose. When they rub against you, they're not just marking territory, they're performing a sophisticated scent-mixing ritual that bonds you into their colony. This behavior intensifies when you come home because your scent has been contaminated with outside smells that need immediate covering. But here's the social aspect. This figure 8 rubbing pattern is exactly how cats greet family members in colonies. By doing it to you, your cat is saying, "You're part of my family group," in the clearest way they know how. It's not just affection, it's inclusion in their inner circle, and that's a privilege not given lightly. While your cat's marking you as family, they're also doing something that seems completely contradictory to their carnivore nature. The carnivore's plant paradox. Your obligate carnivore cat keeps munching on grass and houseplants like they're trying to become vegetarian, and it looks completely contradictory to their nature. It's not. This behavior serves multiple biological purposes that improve their health and survival. Grass contains folic acid, a vitamin essential for oxygen transport in blood that cats cannot synthesize naturally. They instinctively seek plant sources to supplement what their carnivorous diet lacks. But grass also provides fiber that helps move hairballs through their digestive tract. And the roughage triggers vomiting when they need to expel indigestible material like fur, feathers, or bones. Here's the danger most owners miss. Many common houseplants are deadly to cats. Lilies, philodendrons, and pothos can cause kidney failure and death. If your cat is eating your plants, provide cat grass. specifically grown for them immediately. Or you might accidentally poison your pet while they're just trying to meet their biological needs. Your cat's survival instincts run deep, and there's one bizarre sound they make that scientists thought was frustration until they discovered the terrifying truth. The predatory mimicry code. Your cat sees a bird through the window and suddenly starts making this rapid chattering noise that sounds nothing like any other sound they make. For years, scientists were stumped. The obvious answer was frustration, right? They can see prey but can't reach it, so they're mad. But then researchers in the Amazon rainforest observed wildcats in 2015, and what they found changed everything. These cats were making the exact same chattering sound, but not out of frustration. They were actively hunting. The cats were mimicking bird calls to lure prey closer before attacking. If this is true, it means cats are capable of vocal mimicry for hunting purposes, something only a handful of animals can do. Mostly primates. Your house cat sitting in your window might be attempting the same predatory deception their ancestors used to survive. That weird noise isn't frustration. It might be attempted murder. Nature is wild. But here's where it gets even wilder. That chattering isn't the only sound your cat weaponized to manipulate you. The baby voice. Manipulation. Here's something that's going to mess with your head. Adult cats almost never meow at each other in the wild. Like, virtually never. Meowing is baby language that kittens use with their mothers when they're cold or hungry. Once cats grow up, they stop meowing to each other completely. So why does your adult cat meow at you constantly? Because they figured out it works. Cats discovered that meowing manipulates humans into responding, so they kept this baby behavior into adulthood exclusively for us. We've been played. But it gets even crazier. A Cornell University study in 2009 found that cats actually modify their meow frequency over time to match their owner's voice patterns. Your cat is developing a personalized dialect specifically designed to communicate with you. They're essentially learning your language while making you think you're learning theirs. That's next-level intelligence hiding in a fuzzy package. And if you think meowing is sophisticated communication, wait until you see what your cat's tail is secretly broadcasting 24/7. The Tail Mood Broadcast System. Your cat's tail is basically a mood ring attached to their butt, constantly broadcasting emotional data that most owners never learn to read. An upright tail with a slight curve at the tip? That's the cat equivalent of a genuine smile, signaling confidence and happiness. But watch what happens when that tail drops low. A low-hanging tail means fear or submission, and when it tucks completely between their legs, your cat is absolutely terrified. Now here's the dangerous one. Everyone misses. A low tail with violent thrashing motion. Feline behaviorists found this position precedes aggressive behavior 90% of the time. It's a countdown to attack, and you've got maybe seconds to back away. Most people see tail movement and think, oh, they're playing, but that specific combination means, I'm about to hurt you if you don't leave. Learn these positions, and you'll prevent injuries before they happen. Understanding these warnings is critical. But there's one dangerous behavior that looks harmless until you realize it could kill your cat. The deadly chewing compulsion. Your cat is obsessed with chewing plastic bags, wool blankets, or rubber bands, and you think it's just a weird quirk. It's not. This behavior is called pica, and it can actually kill your cat if you don't understand what's happening. Pica means eating non-food items, and it signals one of three things: nutritional deficiencies, anxiety disorders, or severe understimulation. Some breeds, like Siamese, are genetically prone to it, but it usually indicates something's wrong in your cat's environment or diet. Here's where it gets dangerous. Cats develop texture preferences and become compulsive about certain materials, similar to OCD in humans. Ingesting these items causes intestinal blockages that require emergency surgery, and kittens weaned too early show the highest rates, suggesting it's a coping mechanism for maternal separation trauma. If you're seeing this behavior, you've got a ticking time bomb that rarely resolves on its own. Vet intervention isn't optional here, it's life-saving. Medical emergencies aside, there's one everyday behavior that makes every owner wonder if their cat even cares about them. The calculated ignore strategy. You call your cat's name. They don't even glance your way. You call again. Nothing. You're thinking, are they deaf or just rude? Neither. A study at Tokyo University in 2013 proved something every cat owner suspected. Cats absolutely recognize their owner's voice. They just choose not to respond. The researchers monitored brain activity and found that cats process your call completely. Their brain lights up with recognition, but their decision to respond depends entirely on whether they see any benefit. This isn't defiance or stupidity. It's evolutionary independence. Dogs were bred for thousands of years to obey human commands. Cats self-domesticated and kept their autonomous decision-making. Your cat heard you. They just evaluated the situation and decided, nah, not worth it. That's not disrespect. That's just cats being cats. They love you. They just love themselves more. But when your cat does pay attention to you, they do this one thing that feels creepy until you understand what it really means. The vulnerability stare. Your cat stares at you for uncomfortably long periods, and it feels like they're either judging your life choices or planning your murder. Neither is true, but what's actually happening is fascinating. When a cat stares with half-closed eyelids and slow blinking, they're doing something incredible. They're making themselves vulnerable to show trust. Closing their eyes near you means they feel safe enough to let their guard down. But here's where most owners mess up. If your cat stares with wide, dilated pupils and a rigid body, that's not affection. That's fear or aggression. The University of Sussex found something beautiful, though. Cats who maintain eye contact with owners they trust for over 30 seconds show elevated oxytocin levels, the bonding hormone. Your cat's stare isn't creepy, it's relationship maintenance. They're literally strengthening your bond through eye contact alone. Stare back slowly and blink. You just said, I love you in cat language. Now let's talk about your cat's tactical genius, because they've been studying your habits to execute the perfect heist. The laptop hijack operation. The second you open your laptop for important work, your cat materializes on your keyboard like they've been waiting for this exact moment. You think they just want attention? You're only half right. Yes, laptops emit warmth that attracts cats who prefer temperatures around 86 to 97 degrees, way hotter than humans like. But there's something more calculated happening. Cats observe what commands your attention, and they've learned that your laptop is a tension competition. By positioning themselves directly on your keyboard, they're not just seeking warmth, they're strategically eliminating a rival for your focus. Some cats even time their invasions for when you're most engaged with the screen, demonstrating their ability to read your attention patterns and interrupt at peak moments. This is operant conditioning in action. Cat blocks keyboard, human responds, behavior reinforces. Your cat just played you like a fiddle, and you didn't even notice. That strategic thinking shows up in another place you'd never expect, their water bowl. The running water survival code. Your cat has a perfectly clean water bowl but ignores it completely, instead demanding to drink from running faucets like they're water snobs. They're not being difficult. They're following survival instincts coded into their DNA over thousands of years. In nature, moving water is significantly safer than stagnant water because flowing sources have lower bacterial counts and fewer parasites. Cats evolved to instinctively trust moving water as fresh and clean. But there's more. Standing water in bowls develops a thin biofilm within hours that your cat's sensitive whiskers detect, making it gross to them even if you can't see it. The sound and movement of tap water also triggers their predatory interest, making drinking more engaging. Here's the solution. Cat water fountains provide constantly circulating water that satisfies their instinct while ensuring adequate hydration, which is critical since cats evolved in deserts and naturally have dangerously low thirst drives that lead to kidney problems. Instincts drive so much of what cats do, but there's one technique that works perfectly on kittens and becomes harmful on adults. The scruff shutdown switch. You've seen mother cats carry kittens by the scruff of their neck, and the kitten goes completely limp like someone hit their power button. This isn't magic. It's a hardwired neurological response called pinch-induced behavioral inhibition that's fascinating and crucial for survival. When pressure hits that loose neck skin, it triggers the parasympathetic nervous system, causing instant muscle relaxation throughout the entire body. A wiggling kitten would be impossible to transport safely, so evolution built in this temporary off switch. The calming effect is involuntary and powerful. But here's the critical part everyone gets wrong. This reflex significantly diminishes after 8 to 10 weeks of age. Scruffing adult cats causes pain, fear, and aggression because their body weight is too much for that loose skin to support. What works perfectly for kittens becomes harmful and stressful for adults. Yet somehow, vets and owners still scruff adult cats thinking it calms them when it's actually traumatizing them. Understanding what hurts versus helps your cat is crucial, and there's one adorable sleeping position that serves multiple survival purposes. The face-covering thermal blanket. Your cat sleeps with their paws draped over their face, and while it looks Instagram-worthy adorable, this position serves multiple practical survival purposes. Primary function is thermoregulation. Cats lose significant body heat through their nose and face, and covering these areas with warm paws reduces heat loss during vulnerable sleep periods. But there's more happening. Light blocking is crucial since cats are crepuscular and often nap during bright daylight when their biology tells them to rest. The position also protects vulnerable facial features like eyes and nose from potential threats during their most defenseless state. Sometimes, though, it's completely accidental. Cats fall asleep mid-grooming session in whatever position they happen to occupy, demonstrating their remarkable ability to pass out within seconds regardless of posture. That last one is hilarious. Your cat literally fell asleep while cleaning their face, and you thought it was intentional. Cats are weird. Speaking of weird behaviors with hidden meanings, let's decode what your cat's bathroom habits are actually saying. The dominance burial statement. Your cat meticulously buries their waste like they're hiding evidence, and you think it's about cleanliness. It's actually about complex social dynamics and territorial hierarchy inherited from wild ancestors. In nature, dominant cats like lions and tigers deliberately leave their waste exposed as territorial markers, advertising their presence through scent to establish dominance. Subordinate cats bury their feces to avoid challenging these dominant animals and to hide from predators who might track them. When your domestic cat buries waste, they're essentially acknowledging you as the dominant force in the household, respecting the hierarchy. But watch for this. If your cat suddenly stops burying waste, it's often a bold territorial statement claiming dominance. Particularly common in multi-cat homes where feces become communication tools in social warfare. Your cat just declared themselves the boss, and their poop is the announcement. That's both hilarious and surprisingly aggressive when you understand what it means. That aggression shows up in another frustrating behavior that combines intelligence with pure chaos. The gravity experiment game. Your cat deliberately pushes items off tables while maintaining direct eye contact with you. And this infuriating behavior combines natural hunting instincts with learned attention-seeking that's surprisingly intelligent. Cats are tactile explorers who investigate objects through paw manipulation, and pushing things tests whether items are prey, threats, or interactive. Objects falling trigger their chase instinct as movement activates predatory neural circuits hardwired for catching running prey. But here's the learn component. If knocking something over consistently gets your attention, even negative reactions like yelling, cats repeat the behavior because any attention beats being ignored. Your anger is still engagement, and engagement is exactly what they wanted. The behavior intensifies dramatically in understimulated cats lacking adequate play and hunting simulation. The solution isn't punishment, which reinforces attention seeking. It's scheduled interactive play sessions that exhaust their hunting drive before they resort to property destruction for entertainment. And speaking of perfect timing, your cats mastered one heist that combines 5 different strategies into one brilliant move. The seat theft masterclass. You stand up for 5 seconds and your cat instantly steals your seat like they've been planning this heist all day. Here's why they're obsessed with your spot. First, that cushion is radiating your body heat at 98 degrees, and cats crave warmth between 86 and 97 degrees, making your seat a custom heating pad. Second, it's soaked in your scent pheromones, and sitting there surrounds them with your smell, providing comfort and security like wearing your favorite person's hoodie. Third, they've watched you value that spot daily, so in their territorial mind, it's premium real estate worth claiming for dominance. Fourth, some cats literally stalk your movements with predatory precision, waiting for the exact moment you stand to execute their strike before it cools. Fifth, elevated seats offer tactical surveillance positions where they can monitor their territory safely. Your cat just combined thermal targeting, scent comfort, territorial strategy, predatory timing, and tactical positioning into one perfect robbery. That seat is theirs. Now, and you just got outplayed by a 10-pound mastermind. That kind of strategic thinking is impressive, but there's one defensive position that everyone completely misreads: the Halloween fear display. When your cat arches their back with fur standing on end like a Halloween decoration, most people think aggressive cat, stay away. Wrong. This is pure fear, and understanding the difference could save your cat's life in dangerous situations. This posture, called piloerection, is an involuntary fear response controlled by the sympathetic nervous system, the same system that causes goosebumps in humans. Combined with a deeply arched spine, this display makes cats appear nearly twice their actual size, hopefully intimidating threats into backing away without physical confrontation. The position also optimizes their body for explosive movement in any direction should they need to flee or defend themselves. Here's the critical distinction. This is defensive warning, not offensive aggression. Your cat desperately wants whatever scared them to leave so they can escape without fighting. Approaching an arched cat thinking you'll comfort them usually ends in scratches and bites because you've become an additional threat closing in on a terrified animal. Give space, always. Fear isn't the only thing your cat's trying to communicate through their body. There's one daily behavior that looks destructive but is actually sophisticated territorial language: the invisible scent broadcast. Your cat scratches furniture despite having scratching posts, and you're thinking they're being destructive. They're not. They're communicating in a language you can't hear or smell. Yes, scratching maintains claw health by shedding outer layers, and yes, it provides essential stretching for spine and shoulders. But the primary purpose is territorial marking through scent glands in their paw pads that deposit pheromones during scratching. They're leaving both visual marks and scent signals that announce, "This is my territory," to other animals. Here's why punishment fails. Scratching is a biological imperative, like breathing or eating. You can't train it away. You can only redirect it. The solution is providing appropriate scratching surfaces in strategic locations where cats naturally want to mark, like near sleeping areas and entry points, combined with positive reinforcement when they use correct surfaces. Fighting their instinct is impossible, but redirecting it is easy if you understand what they're actually trying to accomplish. Understanding biological imperatives is key, and there's one vocalization change that could signal a medical emergency: the distress scream signal. If your cat has suddenly become a non-stop meowing machine, screaming constantly throughout the day, several critical factors could be driving this behavioral change that demands immediate attention. Unaltered cats vocalize excessively during heat cycles or when detecting potential mates, with sounds specifically evolved to travel long distances for reproduction purposes. But here's the scary part. Cognitive decline in senior cats often causes increased vocalization, particularly at night, as feline dementia creates confusion and anxiety that manifests as constant crying. Medical issues like hyperthyroidism and high blood pressure commonly cause increased vocalization before other symptoms appear, making this an early warning sign of serious health problems. Attention-seeking behavior that's been accidentally reinforced creates learned excessive meowing where any response to meowing, even negative, teaches cats this behavior gets results. If your cat's vocalization patterns suddenly change, you have 48 hours to see a vet before assuming it's behavioral rather than medical. Medical issues can hide behind weird behaviors, and there's one facial expression that reveals a secret sensory system you didn't know existed. The sixth sense. Sneer. Your cat occasionally makes a hilarious sneering expression with mouth slightly open, lips curled, nose wrinkled, looking utterly disgusted or shocked by something invisible. This isn't disgust or insult, it's called the Fleman response, and it reveals a sophisticated sensory system humans completely lack. Cats possess the vomeronasal organ, also called Jacobson's organ, located on the roof of their mouth behind the front teeth. This specialized organ detects pheromones and chemical signals that regular smell receptors cannot process. By opening their mouth and drawing air across this organ, cats obtain detailed information about other animals' reproductive status, territory markers, identity, and emotional states. The behavior is most common when males encounter female pheromones in urine signaling heat cycles, but any intriguing scent can trigger it. This response represents a sixth sense that provides cats information completely invisible to human perception, essentially accessing a secret communication channel we can't even imagine experiencing. Your cat is reading messages you'll never see. These behaviors just unlocked your cat's secret language. Every tail twitch, every slow blink, every weird midnight sprint, it all means something specific, and now you can finally understand it. Your cat has been talking to you this entire time in ways most owners completely miss. So here's my question for you. Which behavior shocked you the most? Drop a comment below and tell me which one you've been misreading for years. If this video changed how you see your cat, smash that like button and subscribe, because I'm breaking down pet behavior that saves relationships and sometimes saves lives. Share this with every cat owner you know who thinks their cat is just being random. Your cat isn't random. They're just speaking a language you never learned until now. Thanks for watching. And remember, your cat is way smarter than you think.